Ryan Carter sat in his office at the Earth Olympic Committee building, looking at the strange message on his screen. After 20 years as an athlete and 5 as director, he thought he had seen everything. He was wrong. An invitation to the Galactic Olympics, he muttered, running a hand through his graying hair. This has to be a joke. The door opened, and his assistant walked in. "Sir, there are some visitors here to see you." Before Ryan could respond, 3 beings entered his office. 2 were clearly guards, tall with bluish skin and 4 arms each. Between them stood a slender figure with silver skin and large almond-shaped eyes. "Director Carter," the silver being said in perfect English, "I am Ambassador Zixis Talak of the Vesperian Empire and representative of the Galactic Council. The invitation you received is genuine." Ryan stood up slowly. "You're telling me there's an Olympic Games for the entire galaxy, and Earth has been invited?" "Precisely," Zix Talak said. "Your species achieved faster than light travel last year. This is the minimum requirement for participation. The Games occur every 50 years. You are fortunate. The next competition begins in 6 months." News of the aliens spread quickly. Within days, crowds gathered outside the Olympic Committee headquarters as world leaders debated how to respond. Most agreed humanity needed to attend. Lisa Donovan was eating lunch in her university lab when her phone rang. The physicist nearly choked on her sandwich when she heard Ryan Carter's voice. "Dr. Donovan, we need your expertise. The aliens have provided equipment and rules for the Galactic Olympics. We need someone who understands both the science and sports aspects." 3 days later, Lisa stood in a large warehouse, surrounded by strange devices. "This is incredible," she said, examining what looked like a metal hoop that floated in midair. "This must be for the zero-gravity handball they mentioned." Ryan nodded. "We have 6 months to prepare for games that other species have been competing in for thousands of years." "At least they're letting us participate in just 12 events instead of all 50, Lisa said. "Small mercy," Ryan replied. "We need to assemble our team immediately." Over the next week, they selected Earth's finest athletes. Amanda Wells, a pentathlon champion known for her adaptability, became team captain. John Martinez, who had both Olympic medals and Navy SEAL training, took charge of physical conditioning. The aliens provided simulation pods to practice events impossible to replicate on Earth. As the athletes tested the equipment, strange things began to happen. Amanda emerged from a simulation pod with a nosebleed. "Something felt wrong in there," she said, like the gravity kept shifting more than the program said it would. John's endurance training results suddenly declined after using alien monitoring equipment. 3 other athletes developed mysterious rashes. Kyle Bennett, a former wrestler who also worked in cybersecurity, approached Ryan after hours. "I found something," he whispered, showing Ryan his tablet. "Encrypted transmissions being sent from our facility to somewhere off-planet." Lisa confirmed his suspicions the next day. "These alien devices are emitting radiation specifically tuned to human biology," she said. "It's subtle, but it's affecting our athletes." "They're sabotaging us before we even start," Ryan said. "But why invite us just to make us fail?" Lisa asked. "Perhaps to humiliate us," Kyle suggested. "Show the galaxy that humans aren't ready." Ryan looked at the training facility, where athletes continued to work despite the setbacks. "Then we need a new plan. We'll keep using their equipment in public, but we'll develop our own methods in secret. The U.S. Intrepid has been assigned as our transport," Lisa said. "We leave in 4 months." Ryan nodded. "That gives us time. Let them think their tricks are working. When we reach the Galactic Olympics, they'll learn something important about humans. What's that? Kyle asked. We don't give up easily, Ryan said, watching Amanda push through another training session despite her obvious discomfort. And we definitely don't like being cheated. The mountain air was crisp at the training facility in Colorado. Hidden among pine trees, the complex had once been a military base. Now it housed Earth's first Galactic Olympic team. Amanda Wells led 20 athletes through morning exercises. Her blonde hair was tied back tightly as she demonstrated a complex movement pattern. Again, she said firmly, the zero-gravity events will test your spatial awareness. Your body needs to understand rotation without the help of inner ear signals. John Martinez watched from the sidelines, marking notes on a tablet. His dark eyes missed nothing. When one athlete showed signs of fatigue, John stepped in. Pace yourself, Steve, he said quietly. This is a marathon, not a sprint. In a separate building, Lisa Donovan studied alien sports equipment. She had created a sealed room where she could examine the devices safely. Found another one, she said to Kyle Bennett, who sat at a computer nearby. She pointed to a small device hidden inside what appeared to be an alien treadmill. This emits radiation that affects human balance centers. Kyle nodded, his fingers typing rapidly. That makes 7 sabotaged pieces of equipment. I've been tracking the transmissions. They're definitely sending data back to someone. Ryan Carter entered the room, his face showing signs of stress. Any progress with our secret training? He asked. Lisa smiled. Yes, I've created clean versions of their equipment. No signals, no radiation. The team can use them in the underground facility. And I set up dummy data to feed into the alien monitoring systems, Kyle added. As far as they can tell, our athletes are performing at about 60% of their true capabilities. Ryan looked relieved. Good. The Versperians check in daily. Ambassador Dzexitalic seems very interested in our progress. Too interested, Lisa said. Outside, the athletes began testing alien simulation pods. These pods were meant to prepare them for environments impossible to recreate on Earth. Amanda stepped into one first. Inside the pod, strange lights swirled around her. The floor disappeared, and Amanda found herself floating. This was supposed to be standard gravity training, but something felt wrong. The gravity became crushing, then nearly zero, in unpredictable patterns. Amanda forced herself to adapt, fighting against the changing forces. When she emerged 30 minutes later, she was drenched in sweat but smiling. Report, John asked, helping her sit down. They changed the program again, Amanda said quietly, making sure no alien observers were nearby. It was set to random fluctuations instead of the gradual changes listed in the specifications. John made a note, just like yesterday. Steve, you're next, but remember what we practiced underground. At dinner that night, the team gathered in the cafeteria. The mood was quiet but determined. Ryan stood to address them. I know the training is difficult, especially with the equipment issues. But we've made progress. Thanks to Lisa and Kyle, we now understand what we're facing. Will we file a complaint with the Galactic Council? Asked Rebecca Palmer, a gymnast with remarkable balance. Ryan shook his head. Not yet. If we complain now, we'll look weak. They might even revoke our invitation. So we keep pretending we don't notice the sabotage. Daniel Wilson asked, his voice doubtful. For now, Ryan confirmed. But we're not just victims here. Thanks to our secret training, we're actually ahead of schedule. When we reach the games, we'll be ready. Lisa stepped forward with a holographic display. I've been studying the other competing species. Despite their advantages, they all have weaknesses. The Vesperians have poor peripheral vision. The Arcturians can't process rapid environmental changes. And humans? Amanda asked. Lisa smiled. We're adaptable. While other species evolve for specific environments, we're generalists. And there's something else they don't expect. What's that? John asked. We know they're cheating, Lisa said. That gives us the advantage of preparation. They think we're going in blind. Kyle raised his water glass, to surprising the galaxy. The team joined the toast, determination replacing doubt in their eyes. The U.S. Intrepid gleamed in the morning sunlight as the Earth team boarded. At over 500 meters long, the ship was humanity's newest starship, chosen to represent Earth at the Galactic Olympics. The sleek vessel had powerful engines that would take them to the Centauri system in just 2 weeks. Captain Samantha Wright greeted Ryan at the airlock. Her uniform was crisp and her posture perfect. Welcome aboard, Director Carter, she said, shaking his hand firmly. My ship and crew are at your service. Thank you, Captain, Ryan replied. I hope we won't cause too much trouble. Captain Wright smiled. My orders from Earth Command were very clear. Get you there safely and make sure no one interferes with our team. The athletes settled into their quarters as the Intrepid broke orbit. Many had never been in space before, let alone on a faster-than-light journey. Amanda organized a tour of the ship to keep everyone busy during the first day. On the third day, the ship entered HFYSPACE. Stars stretched into lines outside the viewing ports. The alien observers, including 2 Vesperian officials, stayed in their quarters, claiming the FTL effects disturbed their senses. With the aliens absent, the team gathered in the ship's main conference room. Now that we're away from Earth, we need to be extra careful, Ryan told them. We suspect the ship may be bugged, so continue using our code words for private training. Lisa brought up holographic displays of various alien species. I've been studying our competition. There will be over 200 different species at the Games. Kyle stepped forward. While most communication from Earth is limited during FTL travel, the aliens seem to have no trouble sending messages. I've detected several transmissions from the Vesperian quarters. Can you decode them? John asked. Kyle shook his head. Not completely, but I've picked up words like human and preparation multiple times. On the 5th day, something unexpected happened. The Intrepid received a transmission from another ship traveling to the Games. Captain Wright invited Ryan to the bridge. It's a delegation from the Arcturian Alliance, she explained. They're requesting permission to travel alongside us and make formal contact. The Arcturian ship was smaller than the Intrepid but more colorful, with swirling patterns across its hull. Soon, a delegation came aboard. The Arcturians had blue-green skin and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Unlike the formal, cold Vesperians, they seemed genuinely friendly. We are pleased to meet our new galactic neighbors, said Krell, the Arcturian team leader. Like humans, we are relatively new to the galactic community. This is only our 3rd Olympic Games. During dinner with the Arcturians, Eric Morgan, the human communications specialist, noticed how differently they behaved compared to the Vesperians. The Arcturians freely shared information about the Games and other competitors. Be cautious of the Vesperians, Krell told them quietly when the Vesperian officials were out of earshot. They have dominated the Games for centuries and do not welcome new challengers. We've noticed some irregularities in the training equipment they provided, Lisa said carefully. Krell's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. Yes, this is their way. They did the same to us during our first Games. We finished last in nearly every event. "Why doesn't anyone report them?" Amanda asked. "The Vesperians control many trade routes and have allies among the judges," another Arcturian explained. "Most smaller species cannot risk their anger." After the Arcturians left, the human team gathered again. "At least we're not alone," Ryan said. "The Arcturians could be valuable allies." Eric nodded. "They offer to share their communications system with us. It's more secure than ours." "We should accept," Kyle suggested. "I don't trust the Vesperians at all now." As the Intrepid continued toward the Olympic planet, the humans felt both concern and determination growing. The challenge was greater than they had imagined, but now they had friends. "We're not just competing for Earth anymore," Amanda told her teammates. "We're standing up for fair play in the galaxy." Phobos 9 appeared through the viewing window as a blue-green jewel against the blackness of space. The Olympic planet orbited a bright star in the Centauri system. As the U.S. Intrepid approached, the humans could see thousands of ships in orbit. Some were tiny, barely larger than shuttles. Others were massive, dwarfing even Earth's largest vessel. "There must be representatives from every corner of the galaxy," Ryan said, staring at the spectacle. The Intrepid received landing coordinates and descended through the atmosphere. Below them, a massive city spread across an entire continent. At its center stood a cluster of enormous structures, the Olympic venues. When they landed, the human team was greeted by a diverse group of alien officials. Some floated on anti-gravity platforms. Others moved on multiple legs. A few seemed to shift shape as they moved. "Welcome, Earth delegation," said a tall, purple-skinned being with 3 arms. "I am Jax Norvo, Chief Coordinator of the 527th Galactic Olympics. Your quarters are prepared. The opening ceremony begins in 6 hours." The humans were escorted to their lodgings, a large building with the Earth flag prominently displayed. Inside, they found comfortable rooms adapted to human needs. "Not bad," John said, testing a bed. "At least they got the gravity right." Ryan gathered the team for a final meeting before the ceremony. "Remember, just being here is a victory. Don't be intimidated. Focus on your events and the training we've done." The opening ceremony was held in a stadium so vast that clouds formed near its dome. The humans had never seen so many different life forms in one place. The stands held millions of spectators from across the galaxy. The Earth team marched in near the end of the procession as one of the newest members of the galactic community. Amanda carried the Earth flag, her face beaming with pride despite her nervousness. "And now we welcome the representatives of Sol 3, known to its inhabitants as Earth," announced a booming voice. "Their species has only recently achieved faster-than-light travel, making this their first Galactic Olympics." A mixture of curious murmurs and polite applause followed them. Some areas of the stadium showed more enthusiasm. Looking up, Amanda noticed a section filled with blue-green Arcturians cheering loudly. The team was surprised to find they had supporters. Small groups of beings from various species approached them after the ceremony, expressing good wishes. "We are the Proxima Coalition," explained a small fox-like alien, "newer species that believe in fair competition. We have been watching Earth with interest." The first events began the next morning. Amanda was scheduled for zero-gravity gymnastics, a combination of dance and acrobatics performed in a sphere with varying gravity fields. As she prepared, she noticed something wrong with her suit. The control panel that helped manage movement in zero-G was flickering. "The calibration is off," Lisa said, examining it quickly. "Someone tampered with it." There was no time for a full repair. "Can you make it work at all?" Amanda asked. Lisa adjusted some settings. "It's not perfect, but it should function." You'll have to compensate manually for the drift. Amanda entered the sphere, where judges from 7 different species watched. The first competitor, a graceful Vesperian, had just completed a flawless routine. When Amanda's turn came, she immediately felt the suit fighting her movements. The gravity field shifted unpredictably, making her planned routine impossible. Instead of panicking, she adapted, using the erratic gravity to create new movements. Her routine became less technical, but more creative than planned. When she finished, the scoreboard showed mixed results. Some judges gave her excellent scores, others barely passing marks. She finished in 4th place out of 12 competitors. That was amazing, Ryan told her afterward. Under the circumstances, 4th place is a victory. John competed next in the endurance run, a 30-kilometer course through environments with different atmospheres. Minutes before the race, he discovered his oxygen levels in his breathing apparatus had been reduced. "Someone's playing dirty," he muttered, making quick adjustments. Despite the sabotage, John finished the race in 5th place, earning respectful nods from competitors from older spacefaring nations. The human team was proving more resilient than the Vesperians had expected. Lisa Donovan's temporary lab inside the Earth quarters buzzed with activity. Screens displayed data from the first 2 days of competition. Kyle hunched over a computer, analyzing video recordings of various events. "Look at this," Lisa said, pointing to a scan of a Vesperian athlete. "Their muscle density changed during the event. That's not natural." Kyle nodded. "And here, in the mental projection race, the Vesperian competitor's brain activity shows patterns consistent with technological enhancement. They had been collecting evidence of cheating since arriving on Phobos 9. What started as suspicion was becoming certainty. The Vesperians were systematically breaking the rules. "We need to show this to Ryan," Lisa said. They found Ryan meeting with Michelle Garcia, the diplomatic attaché who had been building relationships with other species. Her dark hair was pulled back tightly, and her expression was serious. "The Arcturians shared some interesting information," Michelle told them. "The Vesperians have been genetically modifying their athletes beyond what's allowed in the rulebook." Ryan sighed. "Added to our growing list of violations, the question is, what do we do about it?" "File a formal complaint," Kyle suggested. Michelle shook her head. "Not yet. I've spoken with delegates from 15 species. Many have attempted complaints in the past. All were dismissed. Worse, those who complained often faced trade sanctions from Vesperian allied worlds. So they get away with cheating because they're powerful?" Lisa asked, her voice rising with frustration. "For now," Michelle replied, "but things are changing. Our presence has sparked something. Other species are talking more openly about the unfairness." Eric Morgan joined them, his communication pad in hand. "I've been monitoring chatter among the galactic media. Earth is becoming a story. They're calling us the underdogs who refuse to quit." Ryan paced the room. "We need more evidence, and we need allies." "I have an idea," Kyle said. "Captain Wright can use the Intrepid sensors to gather data that can't be tampered with. The ship's systems are more advanced than anything we've brought to the planet's surface." "Good thinking," Ryan agreed. "Meanwhile, we keep competing and building our case." The next day, Rebecca Palmer represented Earth in the gravity shift relay. Competitors had to race while gravity changed direction and intensity every few seconds. To everyone's surprise, Rebecca finished 3rd, earning Earth's first medal, a bronze. "Humans have excellent vestibular systems," Lisa explained to the curious Arcturians who came to congratulate the team. "Our inner ear adapts quickly to changes in orientation." The Vesperians were visibly upset. Ambassador HFYSPACE approached Ryan after the event, silver skin gleaming under the stadium lights. "An unexpected result," HFYSPACE said smoothly. "Perhaps your species has hidden talents." "Nothing hidden," Ryan replied. "We're just adaptable." HFYSPACE's large eyes narrowed. "Adaptability only goes so far. Tomorrow's events require precision and experience that cannot be improvised." The threat was thinly veiled. That night, the human quarters were subjected to a power outage that lasted 3 hours. The environmental systems fluctuated, making sleep difficult. Despite feeling tired, Daniel Wilson competed in the tactical thinking competition the next day. The event required competitors to solve complex strategic problems under time pressure. The Vesperian competitor used traditional approaches taught in galactic academies for centuries. Daniel, however, thought differently. His unorthodox solutions confused not only his opponents but also some of the judges. When the scores were tallied, Daniel had placed second. Earth now had a silver medal to add to Rebecca's bronze. The human success was attracting more attention. A small crowd gathered outside Earth's quarters, beings from dozens of worlds wanting to meet the newcomers who were defying expectations. Michelle used the opportunity to strengthen alliances. "We're gathering evidence of rule violations," she told trusted representatives from the Proxima Coalition. "Are you willing to stand with us when the time comes?" The fox-like alien nodded. "For too long, we have accepted the Vesperians' dominance. Perhaps it took Earth's fresh perspective to show us what we already knew. The system is corrupt." As the first week of competition ended, the Vesperians led the medal count, but Earth's story was spreading through the Olympic Village. The galaxy was watching with growing interest. The second week of competition brought new challenges and unexpected discoveries. As the human team prepared for their events, Lisa made an important observation. "We've been focusing on our disadvantages," she told the team during their morning meeting. "But we have natural advantages too." She displayed a chart comparing human abilities to other species. "Our endurance is exceptional. We sweat to cool down, which many species can't do. Our hands are incredibly precise, and most importantly, we can think creatively under pressure." Ryan nodded. "Let's use those strengths. The Vesperians expect us to play by their rules and lose. Let's surprise them." That day, Steve Jackson competed in the multi-environment swimming race. The course moved through pools of different liquids: water, a methane compound, and a thick gel-like substance. Most species excelled in one environment but struggled in others. The Vesperians used technical aids hidden in their suits to help them breathe in all 3 liquids. Steve, however, had trained differently. Rather than relying on breathing equipment that could be tampered with, he had practiced holding his breath for long periods. He powered through each section, using different swimming techniques for each liquid. The Vesperian competitor finished first, but Steve took second place, earning another silver medal for Earth. The judges spent extra time examining his performance, looking for violations, but found none. "Completely legal," Steve told the media afterward, smiling at the Vesperian officials nearby. "Just good old human lung capacity." News of Earth's unusual approaches spread through the Olympic Village. Other species began asking the humans for training advice. Some even began adopting Earth techniques, focusing on adaptability rather than specialization. The Vesperians responded by increasing their interference. During the high-gravity weightlifting event, John's support suit mysteriously malfunctioned. Instead of withdrawing, he competed without it, earning respect even though he placed 6th. Back on the Intrepid, Captain Wright had been using the ship's advanced sensors to collect data. She called Ryan to the ship that evening. "We've confirmed what you suspected," she said, showing him detailed scans. "The Vesperians are using banned substances that temporarily alter their biology during events. They also have micro-implants that enhance performance." "This is solid proof," Ryan said. "But will it be enough?" "There's more," Samantha added. "We've detected communication patterns suggesting the Vesperians have influenced at least 4 judges. They're sending coded messages during events." This evidence was added to their growing file. Kyle encrypted everything, making copies for their allies in the Proxima Coalition. Meanwhile, the Vesperians were becoming increasingly hostile. Ambassador Zexitalic called an emergency meeting of the Olympic Committee, claiming the humans were disrupting the traditional spirit of the Games. Earth's participation was perhaps premature, he told the committee. Their behavior shows they are not ready for galactic competition. Michelle attended the meeting as Earth's representative. She spoke calmly but firmly in response. "We came to compete fairly," she said. "If adapting to challenges and finding creative solutions is against the spirit of the Games, perhaps the spirit needs reconsidering." Her words resonated with many representatives from younger spacefaring nations. The Arcturians openly supported her position. "Earth has brought fresh perspective," Krell stated. "We see no violations in their methods." The committee took no action, but tension was building. The final days of competition would be crucial. That night, Amanda gathered the team. "We've proven we can compete," she said. "But we need to do more than that. We need to win at least 1 gold medal to show that fair play can triumph over cheating." The team focused on their remaining events. The most promising was the Combined Skills Challenge, a multi-part competition testing strength, thinking, speed, and adaptability. Amanda would represent Earth. As she prepared, a young Arcturian approached her with a message. "Be careful. The Vesperians are planning something big for the final events. They cannot afford to let Earth succeed." The warning was concerning, but Amanda felt ready. "Let them try their worst," she told Ryan. "Humans perform best when the odds are against us." The multi-environment obstacle course was the most prestigious event of the Galactic Olympics. It combined all the skills needed for survival across different worlds. The stadium was packed with spectators from hundreds of species, all eager to watch the final major competition before the closing ceremony. Kyle and Eric had spent the night setting up special monitoring equipment with help from their Arcturian allies. Hidden cameras would record every angle of the competition. "If the Vesperians try anything today, we'll catch it," Kyle told Ryan. The course itself was impressive. It started with a water section, followed by a low-gravity climbing wall, then a high-gravity running track. After that came a maze filled with varying atmospheric conditions, and finally a puzzle section that required both physical and mental skills. 8 competitors had qualified for the final, including Amanda and the Vesperian champion, Zenter. Zenter had won this event in the last 3 Olympics, and the Vesperians made sure everyone knew it. As the competitors prepared, Listen noticed something unusual about Zenter. His silver skin had a strange sheen, and his movements seemed unnaturally smooth. "He's been enhanced beyond anything we've seen before," she whispered to Ryan. "His muscle density is off the charts." The race began. Amanda started well in the water section, staying close to the leaders. When she reached the low-gravity wall, her training in the secretly modified equipment proved valuable. She climbed efficiently, moving into 3rd place. Zenter was in 1st, moving with impossible speed through each section. The high-gravity track slowed most competitors, but he seemed unaffected. Then something unexpected happened. As Zenter entered the atmospheric maze, His movements became jerky. He stumbled, catching himself against a wall. For a moment, his silver skin rippled strangely, as if something underneath was shifting. "His enhancements are malfunctioning," Lisa said, eyes wide. Amanda passed another competitor, moving into second place. She navigated the maze methodically, adjusting her breathing for each atmospheric chamber. The gap between her and Centaur narrowed. In the puzzle section, Centaur's advantage disappeared completely. He struggled to focus, his hands shaking as he tried to solve the first challenge. Amanda worked steadily, her mind clear despite the physical exertion. She passed Centaur, taking the lead. The crowd roared, many species cheering for the human underdog. Centaur pushed himself harder, trying to catch up. That's when disaster struck for the Vesperian. In full view of the entire stadium, a section of Centaur's skin split open, revealing mechanical components underneath. A clear liquid sprayed from the tear, and Centaur collapsed. The crowd fell silent, then erupted in shocked conversations. Officials rushed to the fallen competitor while Amanda finished the course, winning the event. Instead of celebrating, she went to check on Centaur. Medical staff were already examining him, their expressions grim. "Illegal biotechnological enhancements," one official announced. "Complete body modification beyond anything permitted in the rulebook." Ambassador Zexitalic rushed to intervene, but it was too late. The evidence was clear and public. Screens throughout the stadium replayed the moment Centaur's enhancements failed. Taking advantage of the confusion, Eric activated their plan. He connected to the Olympic network and broadcast the evidence they had collected over the past 2 weeks. Screens all over the stadium began showing clips of Vesperian cheating, hidden devices, influenced judges, sabotaged equipment. "This has been happening for centuries," Eric's voice announced over the system, "not just to humans, but to every new species that joins the games." The evidence was overwhelming. Representatives from dozens of species demanded action. The Galactic Olympic Committee called an emergency session right there in the stadium. Ryan and Michelle represented Earth, joined by leaders from the Arcturians and other members of the Proxima Coalition. "We came to compete fairly," Ryan told the committee. "Instead, we found a system designed to keep new species from succeeding. This isn't just about Earth. It's about the integrity of the games themselves." The committee chair, a respected elder from a neutral species, looked troubled. "These allegations are serious. We will conduct a full investigation immediately." Ambassador Zexitalic stood, his silver face contorted with rage. "If this proceeds, the Vesperian Empire will withdraw from the games and impose sanctions on supporting worlds." His threat hung in the air. For many species, Vesperian trade was essential for survival. Michelle stepped forward, her voice steady. "Is this what the Galactic Olympics has become? A competition ruled by threats rather than fair play?" Silence filled the enormous stadium as everyone waited for the Galactic Olympic Committee's decision. The emergency meeting had lasted through the night, with testimonies from dozens of species about Vesperian cheating over the centuries. When morning came, the committee chair stood before the assembled crowd. "For 5,000 years, these games have celebrated the diversity and achievements of galactic civilization," the elderly alien said, voice amplified throughout the stadium. "Today, we must acknowledge that we have failed to uphold the true spirit of that celebration." The chair announced a series of decisions. First, all Vesperian medals from the current games were suspended pending a full investigation. Second, an independent council would be formed to examine past competitions. Third, and most significantly, the Olympic Committee itself would be restructured to include representatives from all participating species. Ambassador Izexitalik stormed out with the Vesperian delegation. Several allied species followed, but far fewer than expected. The Vesperian threat of sanctions had lost its power now that their cheating was exposed. For the remaining 3 days of competition, events continued under new rules. Independent judges replaced those suspected of bias. Equipment was inspected by multiple species before each event. The atmosphere transformed from one of suspicion to genuine celebration. Without their advantages, the Vesperian athletes who chose to continue competing performed poorly. Other species, including humans, showed dramatic improvements. Amanda received her gold medal in an official ceremony, becoming the first human Olympic champion in galactic history. The Earth team added 2 more medals, another silver and a bronze, before the games ended. At the closing ceremony, Ryan stood with Michelle and Captain Wright as the committee chair approached them. "We owe Earth a debt of gratitude," the alien said. "Your perspective as newcomers allowed you to see clearly what many of us had accepted for too long." The chair extended a formal offer. Earth would receive a permanent seat on the new Galactic Olympic Committee, with Lisa Donovan nominated as the first representative. "We need your commitment to fair play and your ability to adapt to challenges," the chair explained. "These are qualities all species can learn from." As the Earth delegation prepared to return home, they found themselves surrounded by well-wishers from across the galaxy. The Arcturians presented them with a traditional friendship crystal. The fox-like aliens from the Proxima Coalition offered trade agreements. Even species that had initially been dismissive of humans now approached with respect. Amanda found Krell, the Arcturian team leader, watching the Intrepid prepare for departure. "Will you compete in the next games?" she asked him. Krell's 4 eyes blinked happily. "Yes, and we will train differently now. Many of us are adopting Earth methods, focusing on adaptability rather than specialization. We'll be ready for stronger competition," Amanda said with a smile. "And we will be ready for a fair one," Krell replied. Aboard the Intrepid, Ryan gathered the team for a final meeting before departure. "We came here expecting to lose," he said. "Instead, we changed the games themselves. Our medals matter less than the legacy we're leaving." Captain Wright added, "Earth Command is already reporting increased diplomatic contact from species we met here. We've gone from galactic newcomers to respected members of the community in just 3 weeks." As the Intrepid broke orbit, news broadcasts throughout the galaxy were discussing the Earth effect on the Olympic Games. Videos of human athletes adapting to challenges and overcoming sabotage had become popular viewing on thousands of worlds. Lisa looked out at the stars as they prepared for the jump to FTL. "The Vesperians thought humans would be easy to defeat," she said. "They didn't understand what really makes us strong." "What's that?" Kyle asked. "We expect things to be hard," John answered. "When faced with unfairness, we don't give up. We find another way forward." The ship accelerated into FTL, carrying home a team that had accomplished far more than winning medals. They had shown the galaxy something important about humanity. Faced with cheating and corruption, they had stood up for fairness rather than learning to cheat better themselves. As Ryan wrote in his final report, "We didn't just compete in the Galactic Olympics. We helped transform them. And in doing so, we showed the galaxy the best of what humanity has to offer."